Padilla, hinangaan at kinabiliban ng veteranang news anchor na si Karen Davila dahil nga sa tapang na ipinaglalaban ang isinusulong na charter change ni Idol Senator Robin Padilla.
Joining us now on Hot Copy, we have the chairman of the Senate Committee on Constitutional Amendments. He is a first-time senator but very
Samantala
passionate
rin mga tol,
when it comes to
pagkatapos
talk
nga
about
mag-one-on-one
charter
interview
change.
ni
And in
Idol
fact,
Senator
he
Robin
is
Padilla
leading
at
it
Karen
in the
Davila.
upper chamber. We have with us Senator Robin Padilla.
Samantala naman mga tol, ito naman ang naging pahayag at naging one-on-one interview ni Congressman Richard Gomez kung saan naman ay sulit at buong suporta nga ang ibinibigay nito kay Idol Senator Robin Padilla sa ipinaglalaban at isinusulong ni Idol na charter change.
Yeah, maybe the business groups.
Pero Idol Senator Robin Padilla nagsalita na sa katotohanan ng kanyang naging pahayag
before when the constitutional amendments were not being talked about, sila nagsabi, let's do the constitution, let's amend it. Eh ngayon nakita na yung Senate is moving also, and then the House approved it, all of a sudden flip-flop sila.
Na kung matatandaan nga ninyo mga tol, ay hinarang at ipinahinto nga ni Senator Meg Zubiri nang maganap na nga sana at mapag-usapan na sa isang session ng Senado ang isinusulong ni Idol na charter change at mapagdebatihan na nga ito ng mga senador sa loob ng Senado. Ngunit sa anumang kadahilanan ni Senate President Meg Zubiri ay napahinto niya What's up mga tol? Senador Idol Robin Padilla, hinangaan at kinabiliban ng veteranang news anchor na si Karen Davila dahil nga sa tapang na ipinaglalaban ang isinusulong na charter change ni Idol Senator Robin Padilla.
Joining us now on Hot Copy, we have the chairman of the Senate Committee on Constitutional Amendments. He is a first-time senator, but very passionate when it comes to talk about charter change. And in fact, he is leading it in the upper chamber. We have with us Senator Robin Padilla.
Samantala naman mga tol, ito naman ang naging pahayag at naging one-on-one interview ni Congressman Richard Gomez kung saan naman ay sulit at buong suporta nga ang ibinibigay nito kay Idol Senator Robin Padilla sa ipinaglalaban at isinusulong ni Idol na charter change.
Yeah, maybe the business groups medyo nag-flip-flop sila sa gusto nila. Before when constitutional amendments were not being talked about, sila yung nagsabi, let's do the constitution, let's amend it. Ngayon nakita nila na yung Senate is moving also, and then the House approved it, all of a sudden nag-flip-flop sila.
Na kung matatandaan nga ninyo mga tol, ay hinarang at ipinahinto nga ni Senator Meg Zubiri nang maganap na nga sana at mapag-usapan na sa isang session ng Senado ang isinusulong ni Idol na charter change at mapagdebatihan na nga ito ng mga senador sa loob ng Senado. Ngunit sa anumang kadahilanan ni Senate President Meg Zubiri ay napahinto niya nga ito dahil nga sa pagsunod at paggalang sa tinatawag nilang isang tradisyon na kailangan sundin sa loob ng Senado. Lalo't lalo ng araw ay baguhan pa si Idol sa loob ng Senado na kailangan niyang sumunod at makinig sa kung anuman sinasabi nitong tradisyon na kailangan sundin sa kung sino mang senador ang bagong maupo rito. Na ito nga mga tol, ang buong pahayag ni Idol Senator Robin Padilla patungkol rito. Panoorin natin ang clip na ito.
Talk about the canceled hearing. Senate President Juan Miguel Zubiri explained that it wasn't common to have lawmakers coming from the lower house as resource persons. He cited that as the reason why the hearing, so to speak, on charter change was canceled. Naniniwala po ba kayo doon, Senator?
Una po, ma'am, ako po ay sundalo ng Senado. Ako po ay dapat sumunod sa kahit na sinong magiging ginoong Pangulo. Kung sino po ang Senate President, yun po ang boss ko. At lalo na po, nasa majority ako. Lahat po ng sasabihin niya, susundin ko. Pero hindi po ibig sabihin na sumasang-ayon ako. Ako po ay naniniwala sa rules of the Senate. At yan po ang sinusunod namin ng aking staff. Yan po ang aming Biblia dito sa Senado. Yung pong mga patungkol sa tradisyon, hindi ko po talaga alam yan. Dahil hindi po ako, bago po ako dito. Hindi ko po talaga alam kung ano yung mga sinasabi nilang tradisyon dito to, tradisyon dito yan. Kaya handa po ako makinig. Kapag sinabi po ng mga nakatatanda dito, na hindi yan ang tradisyon, kahit na wala yan sa Senate rules, susunod po ako dahil tradisyon na po yan. Pero matagal na pong panahon na nandito po ang mga congressman, congresswoman sa mga pagdinig. Katulad po ng mga nangyaring pagdinig patungkol sa agrikultura, na ang chair po niyan ay si Tita Cynthia Villar, si Senadora Cynthia Villar, na lagi po akong nakakasama sa hearing. Meron pong congressman dyan. At yung pong una na aking hearing din sa Baguio, nandun din po ang dalawang congressman. Hindi ko po inaasahan talaga na magkakaroon po ako ng hidwaan sa mga mambabatas mula sa malaking kapulungan. Katunayan, siyempre, hindi naman po ako nandito para makipag-awal. Nandito po ako para magdebate tayo. Yun ang papel natin dito. Magdebate tayo, kanya-kanya opinion. Hindi ibig sabihin na magsuntukan tayo rito. Wala naman pong ganun na pangyayari. Pero siyempre po, dahil isa pong congressman ang nagsalita dito, Barganza, diba? Na umawat sa mga sagutan po ng dalawang kapulungan, kaya po nagkaroon ng cancellation. Hindi naman po cancellation, ma'am. Sa totoo lang po, move lang po, i-move lang po yung hearing. Hanggat hindi po nagkakaroon ng executive session. Ang gusto po ng ating mahal na SP, magkaroon muna kami ng executive session patungkol po dito.
Okay. Now, having an executive session on any bill that's been passed by the lower house, this one is an overwhelming 301 over 7 for a constitutional convention. 301, usually it would be tackled by the Senate having its own version. Pero medyo kakaiba ang sistema ngayon. Ang gusto ng Senate President, executive session muna, mag-usap-usap bago ito itackle ng committee on the floor. What do you make of this, Senator? Do you see it as really the problem that a majority of the senators aren't open to charter change at this point?
Mahirap pong tanggapin na hindi po sila open. Kasi ako po, mula po nung ako ay naupo dito, hinalungkat ko na po ang journal ng Senado at nakita ko po dyan mula 14th Congress, 17th Congress, sila po ay nagpa-file ng bill patungkol po sa yung iba nga po, kon-kon ang ipina-file talaga. At hindi lang po yan mga administration senators, kung hindi pati po ang Partido Liberal. Andyan po si Senator Franklin Biron, nag-file din po siya niyan. Ganun din po ang mga nakaupo po ngayon ng mga senador, nag-file din po sila niyan. Sila din, si Senator SP Mig Subiri.
At one point, yes.
At one point, nag-file din po siya niyan. Hindi ko po matatanggap na sila po ay against dito. Parang, ano yun, nagpalit ka ng isip. Ganun po ba yun? Siguro, ang nangyayari lang po ngayon, sa basa ko po, sa basa ko, ang nangyayari ngayon, kailangan may version ang Senado. Hindi naman po pwede na i-adapt lang namin ang version ng malaking kapulungan. Kailangan po siguro may version talaga ang mataas na kapulungan.
Magandang punto yan. At may version po ba ang Senado? Meron po ba kayong version, Senator Padilla?
Opo, ma'am. Ako po ay kasabay po nito. Nung ako po ay naupo bilang senador, nag-file na po ako nito. Meron na po akong bill. Patungkol nga po yan, unang-una sa pagpapalit ng political structure kagad. Yung po ang final ko kagad. At nag-file naman po si Senator Win Gatchalian ng Constitutional Assembly para sa economic provision. Nung pinag-aralan ko po ito, kasi hindi naman po saratong isip ko, ma'am. Ako naman po, hindi po matigas ang ulo ko. Akala lang po ng mga tao yan na matigas ang ulo ko. Pero hindi po. Nung binasa ko po ang bill ni Senator Win Gatchalian, nakita ko, sabi ko, meron itong tsansa na pumasa. Kasi hindi naman natin gagalawin yung political structure. Kaya ang ginawa po namin ng aking gumawa po kami ng resolusyon na sigundahan po yung final ni Senator Win Gatchalian na Constitutional Assembly para sa economic provision. Yun po yung version ko. Kakaiba po sa version ng malaking kapulungan. Ayaw po nilang tawagin mababang kapulungan nila. Malaking kapulungan.
So, Senator, what's important now is, do you have the numbers in the Senate to support the version of economic changes via constituent assembly, because to explain to the viewers, no, the difference with a con is we'll go through an election, we'll elect the delegates have no boundaries, they can change anything. Even how you vote for the president, term limits, it can go anywhere. Whereas the Constituent Assembly, which you are now open to, is you have both houses voting separately only on economic provisions. Tanong ko, Senator, do you have the numbers for that?
Ma'am, kung ang pagbabasihan ko yung mga speeches ng mga kapatid kong senador dito, katulad po noong pinapasa namin yung RCEP, wala po silang sinasabi kung hindi foreign investor. Wala yan. Wala talaga ako narinig. Yung Maharlika, noong nag-hearing kami dito, foreign investor. Yung mga pinasa po nilang batas, katulad po ng RTLA, katulad po noong PSA, lahat po yan, may kinalaman po yan sa foreign investor. So kung yun po ang pagbabasihan ko, wala po akong nakikitang dahilan para hindi po nila suportahan itong pag-aamenda ng saligang batas. At kung pagbabasihan ko din po yung mga ifinail nitong mga taong ito, magmula pa nung 11th Congress hanggang nung 17th Congress, na hindi lang po administrasyon, pati oposisyon, pinapail nila to. Wala po akong nakikitang dahilan para makuha po, hindi makuha yung numbers nila para sa pag-amenda po ng ang economic provision.
Pero you have never asked, kumbaga, have you done the rounds? Personally ask your colleagues, parang bago ko to i-take on, may suporta mo ba ako? Bukas ka ba dito? Because si Senate President Juan Miguel Zubiri was on Head Start. And while he says they are open, he says there are no numbers in the Senate. He said that. Number two, there are so many other problems that the Senate should be tackling. And number three, he is against the con period because of exactly there are no boundaries on the changes, right? The Senate can be lost in a con frankly. So he said, not on my watch.
Tama naman po, lahat po ng sinasabi po ni Senate President. Sang-ayon po ako doon, boss ko yan. Kung ano sabihin yan, sang-ayon po ako dyan. Opo. Dahil alam nyo ma'am, lahat po ng mga bills dito na pending, lahat po yan kaugnay ng economic provision ng saligang batas. Lahat po yan. Hindi po yan labas doon. Kaya po, lalong-lalo na po, pagka sinasabi nila tungkol sa kahirapan, tungkol sa sikmura ng tao, lahat po yan makasalalay sa investment, foreign investment. Dahil yan po talaga ang nangyayari sa mga kapitbahay nating bansa. Lahat po sila, Vietnam, ma'am. Vietnam, isipin nyo, komunista yan. Nagbukas sila ng kanilang pintuan para sa foreign investor. At ang Vietnam po ngayon, number 3 sa Asia. Number 1 ang Indonesia, number 2 ang Malaysia, number 3 ang Vietnam, number 4 ang Thailand, number 5 ang Pilipinas po sa pagpasok ng foreign direct investment. At yung investment po na pumapasok natin, kalahati lang nung pang-apat. Isipin niyo po yun. At
okay.
Opo. At ang sinasabi po ng ating mahal na Pangulo na Mig Subiri na wala po tayong parang ang mga senador ay takot sa konkon. Sa akin pong pakikipag-usap sa kanila, hindi naman po kailanman napunta doon sa salitang takot. Kasi,
ayaw.
Opo, parang ano lang sila, parang para sa kanila, ang Senado nandito para i-balance, no? Opo. Pero lagi ko naman pong sinasabi sa kanila, ma'am, magmula ng kasaysayan ng konstitusyon, mula nung 1935, nag-amenda na tayo. Noong 1940, ma'am, 1935, ang konstitusyon po natin sinasabi, unicameral tayo. 1940, ginawa nating bicameral, nagkaroon ng Senado. 1973, nawala ang Senado, naging unicameral. Talagang evolving. Ganyan po talaga ang konstitusyon. Ang konstitusyon kailangan buhay, hindi yung patay. Ang konstitusyon na patay, walang mangyayari sa bansa natin. Tulad po ngayon, for 37 years, ma'am, ano ba nangyari sa Pilipinas? Tingnan natin mabuti, baon tayo sa utang.
Okay, all right. Senator, okay, I'm hearing you right now, but let's get on to the more important points here. So are you saying that you have already set aside your advocacy first for the political changes? You yourself are willing na economic na lang muna. Ipagpaliban muna itong pagbabago sa political structure. Tama po ba ito, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Kasi ma'am, ganito po yan 6 na taon na ako dito. Wala naman po akong taxi. Hindi naman ako nagmamadali. Opo. Yung akin pong palagay, ang economic provision, ang pag-amenda niyan, ang kailangan para makabangon ng bansa. Yun po muna. Sa akin, madaling diskusyon to. Pag nakarating ito sa plenaryo, pwede natin itong pag-usapan, pagdebatihan ng mabilis. Kasi pinag-uusapan natin dito, trabaho, sweldo, makauwi ang ating mga OFW. Yun ang ating priority. Yung patungkol sa political, pwede yan next year. May 25 election pa naman. May 2025 election pa, pwede tayong sumabay uli doon. Yung akin lang, may paparating na barangay election, sabayan na natin ito.
Pero konkon yun. Pag sasabay ka sa
Ayaw
barangay
natin
election,
ng konkon.
konkon pa din? Or
Hindi po.
gusto mo i-plebisito para tanungin ang
Ma'am,
anong naisip nyo?
Kasi kung kon-kon, pag halal pa lang yun.
Oo.
Ang tagal ng proseso. Pag kon-kon po tayo, maghahalal pa lang tayo ng delegado. Pag nagkahalal tayo ng delegado, mag-uusap pa yan. Pag nag-usap pa yan, magkakaroon pa ng ratifikasyon. 2 pa yun. Hindi kagaya ng CONAS. Mag-CONAS tayo ngayon. Pagdating natin ng October, ma'am, ratifikasyon na yun. Pagkatapos ng ratifikasyon, pasok na yung batas, ng saligang batas. Lahat ng ginawa nilang batas ng patungkol sa ekonomiya, ibig sabihin nun, constitutional na. Hindi po katulad ngayon, naglabas ng IRR ang gobyerno. Alhamdulillah, praise God, naglabas ang executive ng IRR para sa Public Safety Act. Ang tanong, constitutional ba?
Public Services Act, yeah, go on. Public Services, go on. Yeah.
Opo. Yan ba ay
Constitutional.
Opo, ang sabi doon sa IRR, pinapayagan natin nang magkaroon na ng 100% ownership ang foreign sa public utilities. Nagka-clash ito sa konstitusyon. Ang konstitusyon, ang sinasabi, malinaw ang konstitusyon na hindi gano'n. 60-40 tayo, may 100. Pagdating sa media, 100. Ma'am, ano ba ang pinakamataas na batas dito sa Pilipinas? Ang ginawa ng legislation o ang saligang batas? Saligang batas ang pinakamataas. Ayaw natin i-confuse ang taong bayan. Ang taong bayan, kailangan alam niyo po ang difference ng saligang batas at ang normal na batas.
May punto po kayo, Senator Padilla, at katunayan, may nakabinbing kaso na isinampa sa Korte Suprema ngayon na itinatanong ang isyong ito. Tama? At posibleng may magsampa pa ng kaso para tanungin. So in effect, what you want is clarity. You want the Constitution clear on ownership in terms of foreign investors. So you've made that clear. Ang tanong ko, is the Constitution really our problem, or frankly speaking, the investment climate in the Philippines?
Ma'am, dalawa yan. Tama po kayo sa 2 punto. Kumbaga sa boxing, bakit naman natin gustong solving lang? Kumbaga, suntukin mo na ng 2 para ayos na. Ba't pag-usuntukin mo pa ng 1? Ano po yan, ma'am Yung patungkol sa Constitution, legislative yan. Sa amin yan. Pagdating sa pag-aayos ng atmosphere at ng pagbibusiness dito, executive yan. Yan, political will na yan. Kasi katulad po nung napanood ko sa isang British Chamber of Commerce na pinuno nila, ang sabi niya, ang problema sa Pilipinas, number 1, sinabi niya talaga, yung konstitusyon. yung foreign direct investment. Pangalawa, yung climate ng pagbibusiness, red tape, yan ang problema. Hindi ang problema ng legislation. Wag natin saklawan ang problema ng executive. Executive yan. Hindi natin yan dapat tinatakel tayong mga senador, congressman. Problema yan ng presidente ng Pilipinas.
Okay, so actually, Senator Padilla, listening to you right now, you make a very fair argument on the importance of clarifying. That's the word, clarifying for foreign investors what is legal in terms of ownership in the Philippines. I understand what you mean by even if we've amended the Public Services Act, change the retail liberalization law, it makes a difference that constitutionally something is legal. You know, it is not violative of the Constitution. So ang tanong ko na ngayon, Senator Padilla, sa inyo ito, how then do you sell this to your colleagues? Because ang mahirap, members of the lower house have a different interest. They also want their term limits to change. Some of them want the manner of how a president and VP is voted magbago din. In other words, hindi lang economic kasi ang interest ng lower house. Ang daming ibang interest doon. So ang nangyayari, your own advocacy of just the economic provisions, the challenge lies with you. How do you sell that now to people with different interests? What will you do?
Ma'am, ako po, sa totoo lang, kahit napigain mo ako dito, ito ma'am, totoo to. Lagi ko din naman sinasabi, kon ako. Gusto ko talagang baguhin ang political structure dito sa Pilipinas. Pero, lagi kong sinasabi, dun tayo sa totoo at mabilis. Kapag ipagpipilitan ko ang kon-kon, walang mangyayari dito, mga mahal kong kababayan. Hindi ito tatakbo. Ito nga mismo, may mga papel dito, ma'am, listahan ng mga pangalan ng mga senador na nakaupo ngayon na nag-file ng kon-kon. Hindi na, sila din mismo to, Hindi rin, wala rin pinuntahan. Kaya isa lang ang pwedeng magkatuluyan dito. Constitutional Assembly. Yun ang ibebenta ko sa mga kakapwa ko senador. At yun, ang paggawa natin nito, kaparehas lang ng paggawa ng simple na bill. Bill, gagawa tayo ng bill, katulad ng ginawa namin ng aking staff. Huwag ko pong sabing ako lang, hindi naman po ako ganun kagaling. Meron po tayo mga legal dito na sila gumawa ng bill. At doon po sa bill, malinaw lang doon kung ano yung mga provision na gusto kong baguhin na amendahan sa saligang batas. At doon po, malinaw din nakalagay doon, voting separately. Kasi diyan po nagkakaroon ng problema. Doon po kasi, nung ginawa po ma'am kasi, ang konstitusyon natin ngayon, noong 1987, nagkaroon sila ng nag-confuse sila Akala nila kasi, konti lang po ito. Akala nila unicameral sila, bigla silang ng bicameral. Akala nila voting jointly sila. Pero hindi na pala, naging bicameral. Hindi na nila nabalikan. Kaya ito po ang naging problema. Ngayon, doon po sa bill natin, nilinaw natin na kailangan voting separately, na ito naman po ay pinagtibay ng mga retired justices na pwede. Sabi po nila Panganiban, ng mga ibang mga justices. Kaya ito po yung gusto nating ibenta sa mga kapwa nating senador. Tayo rin ang mauupo. Tayo rin ang magdedesisyon kung ano yung babaguhin natin. Hindi tayo maghahalal, hindi tayo kon-kon, hindi tayo maghahalal ng mas mataas, magiging mas mataas sa atin at isang araw, magugulat na lang tayo, binuksan nila ang konstitusyon, tayo wala na. Yun po, gaanong ko po ibebenta sa kanila. At ako po, sinabi ko din po sa kanila sa executive session, wala sa pagnanais ko na i-abolish ang Senado. Hindi yan kailanman nagkaroon sa pangarap ko. Ang gusto ko, madagdagan ang mga senador. Magkaroon ng regional ang mga senador. Kasi yan ang problema. Ma'am, sa investment na lang, tingnan ninyo. Sa aming
Pero linawin lang natin sa mga nanonood, kahit yun ang gusto nyo, hindi nyo pinaprioritize ngayon ang pagbabago
Hindi po.
sa political structure muna.
Yes, ma'am. Pero
Linawin
ma'am,
natin, oo.
isusulong ko yan sa 2020 po para
Oh,
sa 2025.
hindi ngayon.
Hindi, ma'am.
Okay. So, ngayon, Senator Robin, I spoke with Congressman Rufus Rodriguez and I told him, isn't Senator Robin Padilla's proposal, frankly, more practical? Constituent Assembly, hindi gagastos ng malaki, barometers lang, economic provisions, kasi pag pinakinggan mo, tama. Mas malinaw, di ba? Hindi ka kailangan kabangan na kung ano-ano ang gagalawin. Kung talagang ang pakay ay foreign investors. Ang sagot niya, the people will not trust if it is the lawmakers who will change the Constitution. He claims the people will feel we are out for our own self-interest, which is why they want delegates. The problem is, delegates can be their relatives. They did not put a ban on delegates who can run. What are your thoughts on the public? Do you think the public can trust a constituent assembly, Senator?
Tama po yung sinabi. Ako po'y talagang saludo dyan kay Congressman Rufus Rodriguez. Yan naman po matagal na rin dyan sa Kongreso. Totoo po yun. Kapag Concon, mas mahirap yan kasi ang mangyayari po dyan hindi natin kilala yung mga mauupo dyan. Yung
But he prefers Concon because he says it gives experts, ordinary people, a chance to be involved in changing the Constitution. Kasi nga gusto nila overhaul malaki.
Opo, totoo po yan. Kung political structure, opo, kaya tama po yung sinasabi niya, pag political structure, talagang yan po talaga ang, alam nyo ma'am, ito lang po, sandali lang po ito. Yan ang nagiging problema ng 1987 Constitution. Dahil ang gumawa ng 1987 Constitution, CONCOM, appointed by the President, hindi yan halal. Hindi yan hinalal ng tao, kaya nagkakaproblema po tayo. Dahil hindi yan boses ng tao. Kaya kung tayo po talaga bagawa ng bagong konstitusyon, dapat CONCON. Pero pagdating sa amenda ng konstitusyon, ang linaw na kapag tayo ay mga provision lang ang babaguhin natin, dapat CONAS tayo.
Oo. Kung maliliit na, sinasabi niyo, kung maliliit na bagay.
Opo, piecemeal lang yan. Piecemeal lang yan. Ano lang yan? 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. 7 lang na provision. Hindi natin kailangan maghalal ng napakaraming delegado para sa provision. Na economic provision, ilalagay lang naman natin unless otherwise provided by law. Yun lang ang ilalagay natin, tayo na lang yun. Siguro naman magtitiwala naman sa atin ng taong bayan na mag-amend lang naman. Yun ang papel natin mag-amend tayo sa konstitusyon. Pero kung baguhin natin ang konstitusyon, ay kailangan natin maghalal ng mga delegado. At yung totoong ordinaryong tao. Kapag sinabi natin ordinaryong tao, hindi naman ako bilib sa sinasabi nila na naman. Kailangan daw, mga edukado. Kailangan, mabira, di kayo na naman yan. Kapag ka sinabi natin na maghalal tayo ng tao, maglagay naman kayo ng magsasaka. Parang awa nyo na. Maglagay na naman kayo ng mangingisda, manggagawa. Yun po, hindi totoo. Yes, ma'am. Hindi ka katulad ng yung party list natin. Sino ba nakaupo sa party list? Puro mayayaman.
All right. Okay. I know how passionate you are about this, but actually you're making sense in terms of it depends on the motive. It all depends, Senator, right? On the motive.
Yes,
Ano ba talaga ang motibo natin sa paggalaw sa Constitution? It starts with that, which is why the lower house and the Senate can agree because you have different motives, okay? So moving forward now, how do you get Senate President Juan Miguel Zubiri's support that it's the Economic Provisions Constituent Assembly? Because alam naman natin, Senator Robin, right? You need the leadership to support something you are pushing? How would you do that?
Ako una, ma'am, talagang ang ginagawa ko, hinihingi ko ang suporta ng taong bayan. Dahil ang magra-ratify nito, ang magpapatibay nito ay taong bayan. Kahit na pumayag lahat ng senador dito, pumayag lahat ang congressman na yan. Pagdating naman sa ratifikasyon, no, wala rin mangyayari. Ako po, ang inuuna ko, yung taong bayan. Yung pong patungkol sa mga senador dito, ipinapaalala ko lang po sa kanila na nag-file kayo niyan. Pinail nyo yan. Naniwala kayo dyan. One time in your political career, you believe in this. So, ano
Senator Robin, alam ko nag-iikot kayo sa buong Pilipinas. Sinabi to ni Senate President Mig Zubiri, you're doing your listening tours. You're asking the public. Do you have a specific study that's organized, that's scientific? Ano po ang sinasabi ng taong bayan sa pag-iikot po ninyo?
Ma'am, ang mga bisita po natin lagi, barangay captain, local leaders, sa lahat po ng pinuntahan natin sa 3 lugar, lahat po ng local leaders, ini-endorso po nila ang pag-change ng saligang batas. Dahil ma'am, sa mga pinuntahan natin, nakita po nila ang figures. Ang ating foreign direct investment nakakonsentrate lang sa Luzon. Pagdating sa Visayas, Mindanao, yan ang nakakalungkot. Walang foreign direct investment. Katulad po sa Cebu. Ang Cebu, ang pinakamayaman. Yan po ang pinakamagandang statistics natin. Ang pinakamayaman na probinsya. Pero pagdating po sa kanilang foreign direct investment, awanil. Wala, napakaliit. Yan po ang nagiging problema. Ang Cebu, sana, sa kasaysayan ng buong Pilipinas, Las Islas Pilipinas pa lang tayo, panahon pa ng mga Espanyol, yan ang sentro dahil yan ang kasama doon sa tinatawag na trade, yung Acapulco trade ng mga galyon. Number 1 yan. Number 1, foreign investment. Pero ngayon hindi, zero sila. Isipin nyo ma'am, kung sila papapasok tayo ng foreign direct investment, ang Cebu na ngayon pinakamayaman na 200 bilyon ng kanilang asset, isipin nyo ma'am kung gaano kalalaki yan.
Okay.
Ako, ang aking mga sumusunod sa atin, mga normal na tao, madali nilang naiintindihan na ang foreign direct investment capital ito. Pag pumasok ang kapital, ang dami nating paghahati-hatian. Walang pinagkaiba yan sa binigyan kita ng 1 tasang kanin. Tayong lahat agawan dyan sa 1 tasang kanin. Bigyan kita ng 1 bandihadong kanin, ang dami nating makikinabang. Yun lang po, simple.
Oo. Pero okay, I know that number 1, you want clarity because for foreign investors, clarity and making it constitutionally sound, naniniwala kayo, mas magbibigay sila ng pondo. Okay? So, let's talk about this. Kapag may binago sa economic provisions, ano po ba ang nais ninyo? Like, for example, when it comes to the Public Services Act, binukas na po yun na pati utilities nga sa amendment isinama na. Bagamat may mga nagko-contest na sabi nyo, may punto kayo doon sa Constitution, malinaw. Pag utilities, hindi dat kasama. So baka maging issue to sa ilan. Pero when it comes with power, foreigners already own power. Ang issue na lang ngayon, tinatanong ng ilan is, well, education is, that's a very good argument. And also natural resources and I believe telecoms. Kasi sabi ng iba pati transport dapat, pero pasok na daw yon sa Public Services Act. Ano pa po ba ang nakikita nyo na dapat linawin na dadami po ang pondo at investment na pumapasok sa Pilipinas?
Alam niyo po, ma'am, ang lagi natin titingnan, kasi paano po yung kapitbahay natin, mga kapitbahay natin na bansa. Kaya lagi ko pong ina-example dito sa mga mahal natin senador, Vietnam. Ang Vietnam, mahigpit yan, ma'am. Indonesia, napakahigpit yan. Pero ang Indonesia, binuksan niya ang kanyang education. 100% binuksan niya. Mas ang media, ma'am. Ang tanong ko lang, media. Ma'am, buksan mo Facebook mo, lahat ng klase ng foreign media, nandyan na. Anong dahilan para hindi natin, kinukuha natin lahat ng produkto nila, pero hindi natin pinapapasok ang kapital nila? Anong ang logic yan? Nandyan na yan. Di dapat sa akin, buksan na natin yan, 100%.
Okay.
Buksan na natin ang media. Ganyan din po ang sinasabi natin. Lagi natin binabalikan yung PSA na yan, Public Service Act. Yan pa. Ako, bilib ako dyan sa gumawa niyan kay Ma'am Senator Grace po. Napakaganda ng batas na yan. Ang ito ay lagi itong magkakaroon ng issue sa Supreme Court. Kung ako ba foreign investor, may pera ako, pupunta ako ng Pilipinas, makikita ko, wow, may batas, may PSA. Sasabihin ngayon ng legal sa akin, may abogado yan, sigurado, boss, may problema tayo dyan. Kasi sa konstitusyon nila, sinasabi, 60-40. So, ikaw ngayon, mag-iisip ka, teka, may problema pala to, mag-i-invest ka. Medyo, ano yata yun? Opo, ma'am, merong isang pitch solution. Ito yung, ito yung matindi to. Ito hinahire ito ng mga bansa para gumawa ng mga study para sa kanila. Anong sabi niya? Kapag binuksan ng Pilipinas ang kanyang foreign direct investment, long-term ang magiging epekto nito sa Pilipinas. Ay, ano pa naman ang gusto natin? Oh.
I agree. So actually, these studies are clear, these statements are clear, but clearly, there are other issues why it is not flying in the Philippines, and it's a lack of trust. Yun. Ang kulang ay tiwala na that it would only stay with the economic provisions. How do you battle that? Because I'll give you an example. For example, media. I agree, great argument. Let foreigners allow media. But my question is, sinong foreign company ang mag-i-invest? Sinara nga ABS-CBN. Kung foreigner ka, sabihin, kung sinara nga ABS-CBN pwede gawin din sa atin yon. One. But education, I agree, naiiwan tayo. Other countries have partnerships. They have their own Harvard. They have their own Stanford, diba? I agree with you completely there. Even other aspects, some clarity in the economic provisions. So ang issue dito is the trust. Yung tiwala na ito lang. Yun yung pinakamalaking balakid, Senator.
Yes, ma'am.
Oo.
Opo, kaya nga po, ma'am, ang gusto po natin ipalinaw sa taong bayan, wala po tayo dapat sanang suportahan kung hindi constitutional assembly. At gagawin po natin itong parang bill. Sa bill po kasi, malinaw na po na nandoon kung ano lang yung gagawin natin. Ito po yung isang bagay na magbibigay ng proteksyon sa ating lahat.
Senator, I don't mean to interrupt you, but this is a good one because we're going to go to a break. Don't you think it would make a difference if President Marcos Jr. himself endorses changes in the economic provisions only and asks for a constituent assembly? Ang mahirap kasi is the president himself. We're talking about a very popular president, 31 million votes. Siya mismo sinabi niya, yes, I find the Constitution restrictive. I'm rephrasing, pwedeng hindi ito eksakto, pero hindi ko siya priority. So let's face it, ang hirap ibenta ng isang bagay if a popular president isn't on it. Because if he certifies something as urgent, lilipad. If he says this is a priority measure, lilipad. Mismong ang Pangulo sabi, hindi ko to priority.
Ma'am, alam niyo po, si Presidente Bongbong Marcos, siya na po ang may pinakamalawak na experience. Naging executive yan, naging legislative. So, alam niya kung ano yung konstitusyon. Para, ako po kasi ang take ko ganito Pag nagsalita siya, na sinusuportahan niya ang charter change, totally yung experience niya sa pagiging mambabatas executive, para niyang sinabing wala siyang natutunan. Kasi ma'am, ang linaw sa konstitusyon na wala siyang papel dito. Kapag ka pumapel siya dito, mababatikos siya dito. Ang sasabihin sa kanya, lumalagpas ka sa boundary mo dahil ang linaw sa konstitusyon na wala ka dito. Ito ay nasa legislation at nasa taong bayan. Para sa akin, yung kanyang experience sa tagal niya sa public service, alam niya na kapag sinabi niya, ito, priority ko to. Nako, history will judge him.
So you believe, Senator Robin, that it's just right for the president, number one, to stay out of it, and
Yes,
number
ma'am.
two,
Kailangan ma'am, iparamdam niya sa taong bayan yung separation of powers. Hindi po pwede ito.
Okay, so before we go to a break is when you do the executive session, because you will have it, and
Nagkaroon naman, kagabi.
nagkaroon na, kasama congressman, nagkaroon na.
Hindi po. Executive
Ayun lang.
session po ng mga senador.
Okay, and sa executive session, what can you share ng mga senador? Is the Senate President open to at least economic provisions, constituent assembly? Anong sentiment na nakuha po ninyo sa executive session ninyo?
Nako. Nako, ang hirap niyan. Medyo, ang may karapatan lang magbigay ng statement yan, si Migs lang, si Boss Migs lang. Siguro ganito na lang, ma'am, para lang in general. Kasi ayoko naman.
Yun lang tayo.
Masabihan na naman ako ng niyok kahit kasi yan, kaya ganyan ang ginagawa. Medyo, ano muna natin, executive session is a bit secret pang pinag-uusapan. At ang magbibigay lang ng statement ay si El Presidente Migs Subiri.
Go, sige.
Ang masasabi ko lang po dyan, naging maganda.
Yon.
Nagkaroon man ng mga palitan ng pagiging passionate. Kasi tama yan, kanya-kanyang isipin nyo, ma'am, 24 Republic of the Philippines yan, ha? So isipin mo lang yon, ang bitawan ng mga salita niyan. Pero isa lang ang masisigurado ko po sa inyo. Ang lahat po ng senador na nandun kahapon, ito po galing sa puso ko to. Ang pinoproteksyonan po dyan, taong bayan. Nakita ko po yun. Nakita ko po interest talaga ng taong bayan na una, huwag magkalokohan. Kung magkakaroon man tayo ng amenda, kailangan malinaw. Ano lang yun?
Ano lang yun? Oo. Hindi pwedeng may lulusot bigla. Yun ang ilan yung kasamangan eh. Lulusot bigla, ay pasok na natin to. Pahabain ang termino. Ay pasok na natin to. Yun ang ayaw ng kasamahan mo. Diba?
Opo. Yun lang. Hanggang doon lang muna ako, mama.
Okay. Pero the overall feeling that you have, you are hopeful? Are you?
Yes, ma'am. Always, ma'am.
But it's not yet a dead end in the Senate?
No, never. Kasi magiging dead end lang ito pag tinanggal na nila akong chairman ng Constitutional Amendment and Revision. Yun lang yung dead end. Pero hanggat din nila ako tinatanggal, tuloy-tuloy ito, ma'am. Hindi ako titigil sa pag-file ng resolution at bill patungkol dito. Ako, sa nadinig ko kagabi at sa mga nakita ko na nakuha ko sa journal ng Senado, nakita ko lahat, majority of them filed na magkaroon talaga ng revision and amendment sa Constitution. Malaki ang aking paniwala with the help of God, the Almighty. Naniniwala ako na naiintindihan nila na kailangan na ng amendment sa economic provision lang.
We're now moving to another topic, the Maharlika Investment Fund. So the Senate committee is now elevating it to the plenary, establishing the Maharlika Investment Fund. What are your concerns, Senator Padilla, your overall thoughts on it? Because for sure, you will be interpolating on the fund when it hits the plenary.
Opo, una ma'am, noong nag-hearing yan dito, tinanong ko talaga yan. Kasi lahat ng sovereign fund, meron silang surplus money. Laging yun lang, lahat yan. Dito sa Scandinavian, sikat yan sa Scandinavian.
In Norway. Yeah, and other.
Nalugi nga yung Singapore nitong uli dahil sa kanilang Bitcoin ba yun? Nabasa ko yan.
So you're concerned.
Yun ang concern ko. Tinanong ko doon. May congresswoman. Tinanong ko sa hearing na yun.
So meron. May congresswoman. Okay.
Kimbo.
Yes, Congresswoman Stella. Yeah.
Ang ganda ng sagot niya sa akin. Ang sagot niya sa akin, alam mo, Senator, itong Maharlika Fund, ang makukuha natin dito, foreign direct investment. Nung sinabi niya yun, okay. Kung yan ang target ng ating mahal na Pangulong Bongbong Marcos, ay susuporta ako. Isa lang ang kailangan niyong gawin. Kailangan may accountability and transparency. Kasi pera ng tao ito. Tandaan ninyo, DBP, Land Bank, pera ng tao ito. Hindi ito pera ng ninuman. Pera ng tao ito. Lalo na yung Land Bank, dapat nga yung Land Bank na yan. Sampal-sampalin na mag-asawang sampal yan dahil ang Land Bank dapat sa agriculture kayo talaga Kaya tinayo kayo para sa agriculture. Hindi ko alam bakit naging commercial bank kayo. Pero dahil trip nyo yan at naniniwala ang ating mahal na Pangulong Bongbong Marcos na ito ang magtatawid sa atin at ito ay kanyang economic agenda at ako ay kanyang kasama sa unit team at ako ay majority, membro ng majority, sinusuportahan ko siya. Pero kailangan merong accountability. Ma'am, hindi po pwede ito na lagi kong sinasabi na sorry na lang. Ito, lagi kong, ako, sawang-sawa na ako na kapag meron tayong dinadala sa Blue Ribbon Committee, laging sorry. Walang nakukulong. Walang nagre-resign. Yun lang ang sinabi ko. Dito, sa pagkakataong ito, number one, transparency. Alam ng tao kung saan napunta yung pera. At kung sino pumalpak dito, dapat makulong. Hindi ito pwedeng sorry lang. Kasi pera ng taong bayan.
All right. My last question. Unfortunately, we don't have enough time. But I
ito na naman tayo. Bitin na naman tayo. Lagi ko kung pag gineges, bitin ako.
8:54 na po. So, too quick. 8:54 na. Isang oras na po tayong nagkikwentuhan. Okay. Now, my last two questions. Very quickly, you have to answer quick. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. How was your Senate experience so far? Do you think you're going to get for the Senate? You think you'll do a second term?
Hindi.
Hindi, totoo.
Tama na to, mga galing sa puso ko yan. From my heart. Okay na to. Ano lang ito, para sa akin, maisulong ko lang yung number one, economic provision, maisulong ko lang yung mga yung death penalty para sa mga katulad mo.
That's another show. We'll talk about the death penalty another time. So, hindi ka natatakbo ulit?
Ito, galing sa puso ko, mama. Siguro kung maiiba yung
Okay, baka.
political structure.
Because some people are saying you're a front runner as it is for the vice presidency 6 years from now. That there's a possibility, you're a possibility for vice.
Ma'am, ko lang alam niyo naman ako ay isang reservist. Sundalo lang ako. Hindi ako leader. I'm just a follower. Ang meron lang ako, my balls and my word. Yun lang. Hindi ako edukadong tao, hindi ako magaling na tao. Siguro para yan sa mga edukadong tao. I'm just a follower. Hindi ako
On that note, Senator Robin Padilla, thank you so much for coming to Head Start. Maraming salamat po sa inyo. Bumalik kayo, sir, sa susunod po. Thank you.
Mama, pangako mo sa akin yan, yung death penalty.
Death penalty, we'll be discussing that.
Yes.
Pangako yan.
Samantala rin mga tol, pagkatapos nga mag one-on-one interview ni Idol Senator Robin Padilla at Karen Davila, ay sumunod na naman nga si Congressman Richard Gomez kung saan naman ay sulit at buong suporta nga ang ibinibigay nito kay Idol Senator Robin Padilla na ipinaglalaban at isinusulong ni Idol na charter chains na kung saan naman ay ikinahanga at ikinabilib nga ni Karen Davila dahil nga sa kanilang suportang ibinibigay sa bawat isa na talaga namang tulong-tulong nga ang dalawang matalik na magkakaibigan para nga sa hinahangad nilang pagbabago sa takbo ng ekonomiya ng ating inang bayan. At narito nga mga tol, ang buong pahayag ni Congressman Richard Gomez at suportang ibigay nga nito kay Idol Senator Robin Padilla patungkol nga sa isinusulong na charter change para sa pagbabago ng ating bansa. Panoorin natin ang clip na ito.
Later, Representative Richard Gomez. Congressman Richard Gomez, good morning to you, sir.
Hi, Karen. Good morning. And to all your viewers, good morning.
All right, you recently said that Speaker Martin Romualdez is open and supports the Senate's version. The Senate's interest in charter change, well, most of them for a constituent assembly. Is this correct?
After after we met at the PDP party meeting, no, I was designated to be the spokesperson in the House of Representatives and the Sen.Robin for the Senate. And everything that transpired during that meeting, I reported to the speaker, and I told him that number one, in the Senate, as Senator Robin is our chairman for amendments, he said that what he wants for the version in the Senate is Constituent Assembly. That's number one. So tatlo yan, three things. Second, we'll only touch economic provisions, and then the third is dapat separate voting ang Senate and the House. So that is what I reported, and the speaker said that yeah, good. Then we can entertain talks. Then what is important now, Karen, is that kailangan talaga mag-usap yung House at saka yung Senate, because the part of the House 301 voted overwhelmingly for RBH 6 for CONCON. Now it's time for the Senate to sit down, talk about it, and hindi mo pwedeng hindi pansinin yung mother law natin. This is one of the biggest laws in the land. This is our constitution, and hindi mo pwedeng sinabi nito.
Pero Congressman, what happens now to the House resolution, the overwhelming vote of many of the lawmakers wanting a constitutional convention?
Yes. That's why the talks are very important. No, if the Senate will come out with their version saying gusto nila ng CONAS, then they'll go into a BICAM committee, and then from that BICAM they will come out with a resolution whether it will be CONCON or CONAS. That's why the talks are very, very important at this point in time.
But will the House need to vote again?
Well, it will be presented again in plenary, and it will be ratified on the floor.
So because you'd have to present again, hypothetically, the Constituent Assembly proposal.
Yes. Para sa akin, Karen, what is important, after 37 years since 1987 Constitution, at least ngayon nakikita natin na itong talks on constitutional amendments tumatakbo. On the part of the House, okay na. Ngayon, at least in Senate, it is being talked about, but in the past kasi hindi man lang ito iginalaw. And we understand, that if we want to work on the economic provisions, it was very well presented that the country, because of its constitution, is one of the most restrictive in the world as presented to us. Number 3 in the world, and the strictest in the Asian region, ASEAN region.
But then what happens to your colleagues? Because I've spoken to Congressman Rufus Rodriguez, and he said that some of your colleagues actually want changes in terms of, for example, limits when it comes to term limits in office.
Yes.
Others want to suggest different methods or a different method in governance. So paano ito if you agree to a constituent assembly where the parameters are only the economic provisions? Papayag po ba ang mga kasamahan niyo?
That's why importante, Karen, yung voting separately. No, in the Constitution kasi sinasabi, the House will have to vote jointly. Kailan gumawa tayo ng House rule saying that the House rule should be, the House will vote separately and the Senate will vote separately para pag meron deadlock, pag nag-yes ang House, nag-no ang Senate, then that will be put aside. Once you put it aside, hindi na pag-uusapan yun, then you can work on the next amendment. Pero pag sinabi mo voting jointly, both Senate and House, ma-overwhelm talaga yung 24 na Senate at yun ang ayaw nila because they'll get watered down with more than 300 congressmen. And then against 24.
Okay, and I want to ask you your personal stand, Congressman Richard. Do you just prefer economic changes, the economic amendments, or you honestly believe, because you do have some lawmakers who are making a good argument that a 3-year term for Congress is too short, that by the time you're able to do something, you're preoccupied with the next elections. So
Yes.
some are actually proposing 4 to 5 years, just make it 2 terms, iba-iba ang proposal.
Actually, ito yung kinakatakot ng maraming tao na baka dumaling yung usapan ka rin na sinasabi na ipapasok yung term extension.
Oo.
No? But that's why importante nga, I'd like to go back na dun sa talks na dapat mag-usap talaga ang House and Senate. Dapat gumawa ng House rules if matuloy yung constitutional amendments. Number one, let the House come up with their own version. Second, ako personally, I agree na dapat may voting separately ang House and Senate. No? Now, if you will ask me kung constitutional amendment ang gagalawin lang are economic provisions, for me, that's perfectly okay. I'm perfectly okay with that. What's important to me, Karen, mabigyan opportunity yung mga tao natin. Millions of people don't have jobs. And the foreign direct investment is very important to the Filipino people. Yeah, maybe the business groups, medyo flip-flop sila sa gusto nila.
Oh.
Before when constitutional amendments were not being talked about, sila nagsabi, let's do the constitution, let's amend it. Eh ngayon nakita nila na yung Senate is moving also, and then the House approved it, all of a sudden flip-flop sila.
Okay, and isn't this a factor that the business groups don't support charter change?
Well, what is the factor really is on the part of the Senate. Whatever people say, so nag-agree ang Senate, tuloy-tuloy na yan.
Okay, I wanted to ask you also, you have colleagues already pushing for both the Senate and the House to already meet. You're on recess, right?
Yes.
Okay, and when you meet, ano ang timetable na nakikita ninyo?
As soon as possible, Karen. We waited for more than about 37 years. Now's the time to talk about it. Huwag na natin patagalin. Tapusin natin usapan na to. And on the part of the Senate, I think, Karen, what's important is we have to ask the Senate, ano ba yung fear nila? Why don't they want to work on this? Everyone's affected by lack of jobs, lack of opportunities. Ano ba yung kinakatakot? Maybe if you will ask me, Karen, ano ba yung kinakatakot nila? Hindi ko rin maintindihan eh. Maybe because natakot sila na biglang lumabas sa usapin na, sige, cut short natin yung term ng senators from 6 years, ibaba natin ng 4 years, bakit hindi kinakatakot nila? Or if biglang dumating yung usapin sa political amendment, sabihin nila, baka mawala yung senator, maging regional senator lang sila. Or if there'll be a change in government, maging parliamentary system, mawawala talaga sila kasi magiging congressman lahat. Maybe, I think these are the questions that Senate will have to answer. Ano ba yung kinakatakot nila?
Oh, and you believe, which is why you are open and the speaker is open for a constituent assembly just to discuss the economic provisions.
Yes, Karen. And I like to again stress itong sinasabi ko to, I was appointed by the PDP to speak on our part with regards to constitutional amendments. I'm not speaking for the speaker, I'm not speaking for the House. Ito stand namin to sa PDP.
Okay, pero I remember si Senator Robin Padilla, he did threaten if the PDP laban doesn't support charter change, she would resign.
Yes.
But so the PDP laban is issuing support for charter change even just for the economic provisions?
Yes, the following morning, nag-meeting kami. We had an emergency meeting together with 4 senators from PDP Laban. Senator Robin as chairman for constitutional amendments. The second, si Senator Tolentino, Senator Bato, and Senator Bongo. And they expressed their intention to support the constitutional amendments.
Okay, and who are you tapping in the Senate to be filing this resolution? Because they don't have a version.
I think the Filipino people should be the one to really encourage the Senate, to come up with their own version. Remember, Karen, there are only about 258 congressional districts all over the country. and 301 congressman ang pumirma sa House Resolution for CONCON. That's more than what the Philippines have. So the whole Philippines actually voted for a constitutional amendment. And then here comes 2024. Let's say put it lang at 20 senators. 20 senators na lang hinihintay natin.
Okay.
Lumabas na kayo with your own version, please.
Okay, and Congressman, in the economic amendments, what do you think would be the biggest game changer? Because during the Duterte administration, there were
Yes.
3 amendments to the Public Services Act, and that's not enough.
No, the Public Service Act, actually tatlo yan, Karen, no? Kung titignan mo yung may pinasaang may pinasa na tatlong batas. Let me just get my thoughts correct. Nilabas din yung
Retail liberalization.
Trade Liberalization Act, Foreign Investment Act, and the Public Service Act. But Karen, all of these laws na inaprubahan, no? Lahat ito nagko-contravene dun sa Constitution natin. Now, magtatanong siguro ibang tao, bakit kayo gumawa ng batas? Bakit inaprubahan ng batas? Congress and Senate can come out with any law until or unless it is challenged at the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
Now,
And I know there's one challenging right now.
There are two.
Actually, no? If utilities can be included. Tama ba?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And meron pang iba. Tapos Karen, alam mo ang problema niyan. So now nasa Supreme Court na. Here comes the uncertainty. Kasi it is not written in stone. So hindi yung batas na ginawa na yun is not there's no perfect law, pero yung batas na yun again contradicts the Constitution. So may uncertainty for investors to come in. Imagine, sabihin nila, naglabas na nga kami ng 3 batas, that should be enough para pumasok yung mga foreign direct investors. Sige, here comes an investor who will come out with what? Put in $1 billion to the Philippines.
Yeah, let's see.
Biglang may Supreme Court decision, Supreme Court case na that will give them uncertainty. What if the Supreme Court says, it is unconstitutional? But if you ask me personally, I think it is unconstitutional because you cannot amend the Constitution by just creating laws. You cannot.
Interesting. Oo.
Yes.
So you yourself believe that even if those amendments were made, technically speaking, it goes against the Constitution.
Yes, Karen, yes. I'll give you one perfect example. Nire-require ng Constitution natin kung tatakbo ka ng presidente, kailangan at least 45 years old or 46. No? What if maglabas ako ng bill, sabihin ko, sige, pag 25 years old ka na, pwede ka na tumakbo ng presidente. Will the Constitution allow that? No, because they will say that your bill or the law that you passed is against the Constitution. It's the same thing for this trade liberalization act. Itong 3 batas na sinasabi lang na naipasa na lang. Contradictory talaga yan.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay,
Yes.
and on another note, when it comes to the issue that some senators have discussed with me is the issue of land. Where do you stand when it comes to land? What amendment do you think is necessary with land?
Karen, very important yan na pag-usapan. Yung mga investors, of course, they'd like to put in a lot of money. Now, kung pag-usapan agriculture, for agriculture program to succeed, kailangan malaki talaga yung land na gagamitin mo. Economies of scales. So, hindi ako, personally, I will say no. Pag ang papasok sila bibilisin ng land with regards to agriculture, that should be left to the Filipinos. But when it comes to manufacturing, papayag ako because when you put up a factory, how much land do you need to put up a factory? Malaki na siguro yung 5 or 10 hectares. Then I will allow that. No? And then with regards to do they want to live in the Philippines, do they want to buy land? Well, siguro kung tatanungin mo ako, the only ones that can buy land siguro are those in the highest position of a company. You allow them to buy 1,000 square meters for their own. Pero hindi mo nang papayagan, bumili ka ng condominium dito, bumili ka ng maliit na lupa dito. You don't think that way. You will not allow that to happen. That should be, that's why, Karen, sorry.
Go ahead.
That's why it's important, Karen, na mag-usap ang Senate, ang House regarding sa amendments.
And well, you do have some senators that want openings, for example, with education, right? We don't have these big schools. You have like a Harvard, a Stanford already in the Middle East or certain parts of the world, and we don't have it here because they're completely foreign owned.
Yeah, that's why there are some restrictions that you have to relax.
Yeah.
Not just educational part of my, I'm one of the principal authors of this constitutional amendments. And nung nag-uusap kami sa committee namin, sabi ko, I will allow that if you ask me personally, because education is very important. Do not limit education just in the Philippines. Ang dami natin. How many are we? 110 and 10 million, and we only have few universities. So allow other big universities from other countries to come in. You have Harvard, you have NY, you have Stanford. Let them come in.
Okay, so let's move forward from that, but your timetable is as soon as possible.
Yes.
And we are hoping that during the session break, the senators will schedule a meeting. That's the hope. All right, let's move on to another topic, the Mandanas ruling. Even if the Supreme Court has ruled on this, the implementation has, I don't know if it's been fully implemented already, because I know that President Marcos Jr. even ordered a review of the executive order issued by former President Duterte. What challenges are you seeing, Congressman, in the local sector, because you are in Ormoc, and I'm sure you've experienced this for many years?
Yes. Karen, the effect of the Mandanas Garcia case are two things. It's good because there are additional funds coming into the LGU that you can use for programs, for activities. But on the other hand, the government wants a full devolution process. Ibig sabihin, lahat ng mga programa nila sa national level, gusto nila ibabato nila sa local level. At hindi ito pwede yun. Bakit? Because there are just too many national government programs that the LGU cannot handle with lack of funds. No, pag ang LGU kasi, Karen, I was a mayor for 6 years, no? Lahat ng binabato na program ng national government, sinasalo namin yan as LGU. That is our job to implement all programs being given by the national government. But with lack of funds, insufficient funds, nothing will happen. Hindi matutuloy yung programa. What will happen next? You will not be able to give basic services to the people. Pangalawa, pag hindi nagawa ng LGU because of lack of funds, magko-collapse ang LGU. So that is the basic problem. What I want, and what I had the privileged speech on this, and ang sabi ko, we like the Mandanas Garcia ruling, the additional funds. That's very good. Pero sana ang gawin natin on the national level, kayo na magbibigay ng funds sa LGU, dapat piso por piso tayo. You give us 1 peso additional funds, pero dapat commensurate dun sa program na ibibigay nyo sa amin. So kung ang bibigyan sa amin 1 peso worth ng funds, dapat yung program 1 peso worth. Hindi pwede na piso lang yung tinanggap namin. Pero ibibigay mo programa sa amin is worth 1,000 pesos. Collapse. Always remember, Karen, na only the big cities will survive.
Yeah.
It will survive this program. Yeah, the cities in Metro Manila, NCR, no? And cities maybe like Cebu, kaya, but the smaller ones, especially the municipalities, the 5th class, 6th class municipalities, magko-collapse talaga sila, Karen.
So, Congressman, what you're saying is full devolution, despite the Mandanas ruling, won't work for all.
No, it will not. So full devolution is something that will not work unless it is supported by proper funding.
And I wanted to ask you, after the pandemic, have you actually received more revenues? Because there's also a debate, I know, on just how much LGU should receive.
I'll put it this way.
Did the DBM scrap a certain percentage that should go to the LGUs, and LGUs want that also given to them?
Ito Karen, kasi yung funding, there's a written percentage on how much LGUs should receive. Iba yung pareho sa province at saka sa city, mas mababa for municipalities and barangays. No, I'll give you one perfect example. When I was mayor in 2022, we received an additional about less than 500 million pesos, about 37% increase from our internal revenue allotment before, which is now called the national tax allotment now, no? And that was in 2022. Pero pinagkukunan noon 2019. Nagsisimula pa rin pandemic noon. Pero nung tinamaan na tayo ng pandemic in 2023, yung na-receive namin na about 500 million, ngayon ay 265 million na lang.
Oo.
Yeah, so that's less than roughly about mga 15%. Karen, so
Oo.
makita
Yeah.
mo the effect of the pandemic.
Yeah.
So, and
what about now? Did it go back to 500 billion?
No, not yet. Kasi yung pinagkunan natin ng 2021, yung 2020, 2021, ano pa rin tayo, under pandemic tayo. So, there's a possibility that what we will receive for the coming budget year could be lower than
Okay,
what we receive
so-
now.
Okay, so these are very good points. So,
Yes.
given that the president is asking, I believe the BBM to review the executive
Yes.
order, what is your request?
My request is,
The review is, I think, coming up. Am I right? Within the next 2 months.
yes, our president, BBM, asked for a review for EO 138,
Yeah.
which is very good. No, so now I'm hoping that they're listening to this conversation. Sana ang gawin nila na conclusions that yung piso na ibibigay sa LGU, piso rin yung worth ng programs na tatanggapin ng LGU. That way, all the programs that will come to the LGU will be properly implemented to the people.
And there's a chance of success.
There is. But do not burden the LGU. Sabihin nyo, ate, malaki naman yung natatanggap nyo. Kaya nyo na yan. It doesn't work that way. Because the LGUs, there are hundreds, even thousands of programs in the LGU aside from na nagpapasweldo ka ng mga tao mo. But the nice thing lang about all of this, Karen, meron tayo yung tinatawag na yung tinatawag natin yung Growth Equity Fund. Yung Growth Equity Fund, this is a national fund na ginagamit to for smaller municipalities. No, na maliit talaga yung tinatanggap nila. As a matter of fact, Karen, as we speak right now, alam mo, I'll tell you, barangays like San Lorenzo Village, no? Barangay San Lorenzo Village in Makati, Forbes Park in Makati, mas malaki pa yung kinikita ng mga barangay niyan than other municipalities all over the country. So, you can imagine kung gaano kaliliit lang yung tinatanggap ng mga munisipyo in other parts of the country. So, the Growth Equity Fund is also very important to at least help the smaller municipalities na madagdagan yung fund nila other than the Mandanas-Garcia ruling.
Oh, good point. And is it possible that the Growth Equity Fund only be given to municipalities that need it and take out already the first-class municipalities or barangays?
Yes, as a matter of fact, yung first class up to fourth class hindi na yun kasama. Hindi na sila masama. It's only the fifth and sixth class. So sila lang yung makakatanggap from the Growth Equity Fund.
All right. My last question, I know, well, this is a bit left field, but now you're a member of Tau Gamma Phi, I'm correct?
Yes, I am.
You are. And I'm sure you're aware of the recent death of one of the students, Matthew Salilig. Some have already said there's already a very strict anti-hazing law.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Actually, my question is, you're from Tau Gamma Phi. The fraternity doesn't have a very good record. A lot of the records when it comes to, at least in the last few years that have been read on Head Start, Tau Gamma Phi always factors in the list of hazing deaths.
Yes.
I mean, Richard, is there anything that shouldn't there be some internal, penalties that can be imposed? I mean, I don't know what the members do or, alumnus like yourself.
Yes, Karen, it's sad na because of what happened, minamatay na member ng Tau Gamma Phi, no? Our senior brothers in our fraternity is working very hard and diligently in talking with the other members of the different members, no, the different chapters, yes, in all over the country. Na, there is an anti-hazing law that Senator Ralph Recto did, no, and sa House naman nandiyan si Congressman Bong Teves, no, and we tell them that tama na yung wala na tayong hazing ngayon. Hindi na natin dapat sinasaktan yung mga members natin. Let's do another form of not hazing, but there are other ways to make other people join our fraternity. So we really
What was the hazing before? I'm curious. Did you go through hazing yourself or no?
Hindi.
Okay.
Hindi.
It depends on the chapter.
Not really. Pero ibang klase yung ginawa sa amin, no? Hindi na pwede yung hindi na pwede yung masasaktan, may possibility na mamatay. So, hindi na namin ginagawa yun. We stopped that. Because especially us, we're members of Congress, mas malaki yung mabigat yung parusa sa amin kasi hindi mo pwede na kami yung gagawa ng batas, kami rin yung mag-violate nun. So, on our part,
But when you were a student, I'm curious, you must have joined Talgama before.
matagal, yes.
When you were a student.
Uso yun ng mga bata pa kami. Uso yun, Karen. So it has stopped. And ever since we've talked to our brothers in the different chapters all over the country. Now, even the founding members of Tau Gamma Phi, right now, umiikot sila. And, dine-educate yung mga chapters namin na, you don't do that anymore. You stop it. We'll do another form of accepting members in the brotherhood.
All right. Well, I want to thank you.
So hanggang dito lang tayo mga tol. Maraming salamat sa panunood at patuloy na suporta. God bless you sa inyo lahat. Hanggang sa muli. Paalam.